Hi, Mark Rothfield for Club Marine TV. Today we're looking at the mighty Merry Fisher 795 Sport packaged with a 250 horsepower Yamaha. It's the new and improved Series 2 hull that Jeanneau calls the SUV of the sea. And I reckon it's right in the hitting zone for older folk like me, young families, in fact anyone who enjoys the great outdoors. So let's go. Starting in the cockpit, because it's the nerve centre of any good runabout, and you're looking at one of the biggest in its class. The 795 is originally tagged the Marlin, and that was in reference to its sports fishing qualities. But the name Sport better summarises the sort of versatility and utility you can get out here. For starters, you could launch a SUP. Imagine you've got a sailboard, you've scuba diving gear here, all those sort of action sports that you can do so well on a platform like this. If you are fishing, really well set up, you've got nice sort of thigh-high support, good access to the transom. On the port side here, there's a live well, plenty of rod holes. It's got a rocket launcher for 6 rods, and when you're done, everything stores underfloor in these big lockers. Also underfloor is a 280 litre fuel tank. There's twin boarding gates leading out to these extended pods either side of the engine. The starboard side has the swim platform. It's also got a handrail and the shower. There's also a gangway on the starboard coaming, which just helps you when you're coming into a marina to step out onto the dock. To allow you to have full tilt of the engine when it comes to putting it on the trailer or into a floating dock, another nice feature is this cutting board actually raises up out of the way. It even has a little roller built in so you don't scratch the cowling. If all that action has made you hungry and it's lunchtime, this whole area can turn into one big outdoor entertainment zone thanks to this modular furniture with 3 lounges all surrounding this moulded outdoor table. The coach roof has this slight extension. Get a couple of downlights here to sort of flood the cockpit at night. It's also got a canopy that slides out telescopically to cover this whole cockpit area. The good thing about that is you don't need down struts, so it doesn't interrupt the access when you're moving back and forwards in the boat. This version has an outdoor galley here and a solid bulkhead with this opening window. There is another arrangement where you can have a lounge seat here, so that sort of completes the circle around the outdoor table. A third option is to have this as sliding glass doors, which gives you that sort of flow-through access to the cabin. The side decks are actually really nice height, sort of waist high. You get these stainless steel handrail leading to the bow, another one built into the coach roof, so you're really secure. You could really easily fish here if you have to. Check these out too. 80 centimetre wide sliding doors to give really nice access to the cabin and ventilation. There's another one on the starboard side, and that walkway is actually slightly wider, so it's probably the one you'd use a bit more often if you're heading to the bow. The bow is definitely worth heading to as well, because up here you get a whole other entertainment zone where 4 people can sit. There is an optional table. You can also put a sunbed in here. When you're done, lift up this hatch and all the cushions can just slide down into the cabin out of the way. Looking at the anchoring system, here it's offset slightly to starboard with your bow roller. Comes back to a Lumo winch and all your chain and rode goes into this central locker. The reason that is it opens up this front area to go straight out onto the beach. The coach roof has this optional equipment rack built in, so you can carry your SUP, your sailboard, your kayak, or even a tender up here inflated, and when you get to your anchorage, you're ready to go. Tell you what, this pilot house isn't too bad for a 7-metre boat. It has a sort of saloon car feel about it. The advantage of that fixed bulkhead is you get this big 3-seater lounge. Combined with the 2 forward-facing seats, that allows 5 people to sit in here perfectly shielded from the elements. Can also turn into a conversation nook just by pushing forwards this seat back, rotating the helm seat around and then lowering a table from the roof. Really clever. Other things to note, there's a 12-volt fridge, little footstep, and great storage down here. If nana naps are more your speed, and I do enjoy one, there is a bed. They say it's wide enough for 2 people, maybe 2 skinny people, or 1 bigger bloke like me. There's ventilation and privacy down here, and pride of place goes to an enclosed head compartment, which is brilliant on a boat this size. The Helm Console is this nice moulded 2-tier affair, finished with a black fascia, so all the gauges and everything look really nice and modern on it. This multifunction Garmin screen imparts all the information you'll want, and the controls, switches, everything's at your fingertips. Bow thrusters are pretty well standard on Merry Fishers these days. The test boat's fitted with some Lenco tabs here, and it also runs the new Helm Master Autopilot and Joystick. Starting with this digital technology that comes with the Yamaha motors, feature I really like, it's got neutral hold, so if someone accidentally bumps the throttle, it won't go into gear. Turn that off. Now, we talked about the Helm Master gauges earlier. Fantastic. Hit fish point, it'll hold you in position. That motor automatically will just maneuver you until you basically stay on station. It's really unique for a single motor installation. The other thing I like, the joystick control. Simple push of the button, and now again with single motor we are operating with just a joystick. It's for low speed maneuvering. You can turn the boat around really easily. It's really responsive, not touching the helm. I think this sort of feature is fantastic for people who have come down from bigger boats and they're used to joysticks. It's great for people who want to try a joystick, maybe going up the ranks, and even people who have never driven a boat before will find this really intuitive. You're not using throttles or anything like that, just relying on that little precise control. Also, just straight into reverse. This has got that digital technology again, it changes really easily. Brings the boat around. It's really impressive, it's so simple. You know, we're in a little tight manoeuvring spot over here at Tangaloon the Wreck, and there's usually boats around here. That's the sort of thing that would just make life so much easier. After that, you can go, just turn that off and go straight to your normal throttle. Just take a bit of care getting out of here. There's lots of kayaks and all sorts of things, skis. It's a great little spot. Just the sort of place you'll come to in a boat like this. Launch your kayak, go for a paddle around the wrecks. The 795 actually measures 7 metres overall in the hull, and beam is 2.8 metres, which is above trailable width, and you also need a pretty decent tow car because the weight on trailer is 3.7 tonnes. But you really gain on the water, not only with all the elbow room you get in the cabin, but also in the stability. I can also see this boat being used in a sea pen or some other arrangement where you can lift it out of the water and keep it clean. Feel really nice and protected in here. We've got both doors closed, we've got the sky roof closed, and this protection from the windscreen. Feels like a much bigger boat when you're driving, but at the same time you can open all those if you want that nice flow through ventilation. Only doing 1,000 revs at the moment for 9 kilometres, so let's just bump that up a bit. Get up to about 2,000 revs, speeds already 13 kilometres an hour. Time to get her on the plane. Motor's trimmed right down, here we go. Yeah, that's where you really need that 250. I know there is lower motors available. I think really that 250 is a nice power plant for this boat. Top speed is 35 knots as well, which is plenty. Right now, doing about 4,000 revs for 40 kilometres an hour. Fuel usage is around about that 43 litre per hour mark. Good cruise speed really, this one. The boat feels nice and settled. Engine noise is reasonable. Just bump it up a little bit. See what you can do fuel wise. So that's 5,000 revs now. Fuel usage has jumped up to 68 litres an hour. Again, pretty good. From a 280 litre tank, you can go quite long distances at these sort of high speeds. Feels really efficient. It's got a very fine forefoot, and then it comes back and it maintains that V aft. There's also a planing strake, which helps you get that little bit more lift to get you up on the plane with such a deep V. The chines are also reversed, so they give you that slight grip in the corners. Also helps with just that little bit of spray deflection. Just throw it into a bit of a corner now. Feels really responsive. Again, just so easy on the helm. It's good fun to drive, which you really don't expect from Pilot House cruisers. It's obviously a thoroughbred hull with this sort of North Sea cabin top on top of it. Pricing for the Merryfisher 795 Sport starts around the 180 mark, but as you see it here, it's closer to 280,000. When you think of France, you think of the finest things in life: cheese, wine, perfume, fashion. And this boat certainly fits into that category too. I'd give it a kiss on both cheeks when it comes to versatility and also performance in our boating conditions. Mark Rothfield for Club Marine TV. See you next time.